Hi, everyone. I'm glad to see everybody's getting to a good start in our class. So during the summer term, a few times each week, I will be sending out announcements and reminders to the class in which I'll be addressing some things that we're doing in the class, questions that come up, as well as some other notes. So please do take some time to read through those announcements when I send them out, or watch them if there's a video version like this one. Of course, we already have had a couple of quizzes due yesterday, and today we have an introductions discussion to start out. And so for this introductions discussion, you'll need to reply to 5 of your classmates. And now for most of the discussions in our class, fewer replies than that will be required, but it's good to get to know everybody. So for this, replies will be due by tomorrow since there are 5 replies, but I do encourage you to reply earlier. In most discussions in the class, we will actually have replies due the same day as the post. So if you are among the first to post, then you might need to check back later to complete those replies. And I'll actually have another discussion today, which I'll mention in a moment as well. But if you've looked at our Canvas calendar, you'll also notice that we'll be having something due almost every weekday and also some Saturdays. Sorry for the weekend due dates. But with our accelerated schedule, I do recommend setting aside regular time every day so that you can work on the class, making it part of your daily routine. Even though we don't have class meetings, since this is an online class, if you are working on the class at regular times of the day, that can also help you stay on track better. So then by tonight, you will also need to complete a second discussion activity, which is brainstorming some ideas for the complex problem that you'd like to explore this term. So then by Wednesday night, tomorrow night really, you'll need to have decided on which complex problem you want to go with. Which will also be the focus of some of your work in the class, and it will also be the focus of your final multimodal video presentation at the end of the course. So I do hope that today's discussion activity on complex problems will help you to narrow down your topic ideas. And of course, in addition to posting about your own ideas, you'll get the chance to see and respond to your classmates' ideas. And that might be helpful for you as well. And you can see what they respond to you. So you can help narrow down your ideas. Anyway, with this in mind, I do want to share just a few thoughts and notes regarding complex problems. So one thing I do want to encourage you to do is to avoid thinking about situations in problems in binary terms. And by binary, of course, I'm referring to things being just being two-sided. So this is the type of thinking that I actually run into a lot of my first-year composition classes when students make an argument on a topic and they think there are only 2 sides to the issue, such as for or against. But really, that type of thinking can be very limiting because issues are often much more complex than that. And of course, that's where we're choosing a complex problem. So it's not going to be just a 2-sided problem. So as an example, one area in which we might encounter binary thinking is in debates about higher education. Of course, I'm in higher education. That's not using that example. But perhaps you've heard something similar to, well, should I get a liberal arts degree or an English degree, or should I do something that's going to get me a good paying job? And of course, the assumption there, and that's the kind of the binary thinking behind that, is that a liberal arts degree or an English degree does not prepare you for the workplace and can't get you a good paying job, which I think is very incorrect. So binary thinking was really oversimplifying an issue, and it's usually doing that incorrectly. Really, liberal arts education and English studies, really has value when it helps you think about and address complex problems. And as I mentioned earlier, this term, of course, you will be identifying a complex problem that you are going to be exploring for the rest of the term using the tools of English studies. So you'll choose a complex problem right away, this week, and that will all really culminate in your final video presentation at the end of the term. Which will be shared publicly. So we have to have a public audience for this, with the experiential learning. So that could be on social media, whether it be your own YouTube channel, for example. You could use my YouTube channel or another public forum in some way. There are going to be various options, so we can discuss that further as we get later into the course further. Of course, on Canvas, I do have for the complex problems discussion, I do have a few complex problem examples listed just to get you started. But really those are pretty generic in general. So you probably want to choose something that is probably not on my list, something that greatly interests you. And if it's something that relates to your major, that can be a good choice, or something that's your future career, or it may be something that you're just very passionate about. Hopefully, if it's all of the above, then that's all the better. But as I did mention, you will need to make your complex problem choice by Wednesday night. So after that discussion today, tomorrow night, make your choice. So then on Wednesday, though, we will also be starting Module 1. So in part, Module 1 is considering liberal arts education. So, of course, you'll have some freedom in selecting some of the readings that we have listed for tomorrow that you'll get to go through. And if you've taken a UNV 101 or a similar course, you might have discussed the idea of a liberal arts or liberal arts education as part of that coursework. But even if you haven't, right, you might just consider as you go through our readings on liberal education, just considers like, what is my perspective on liberal education now? What do I know about it? And how has it changed after you get through those readings, right? What do you learn from it? And so first on our Module 1, for Module 1, we do have a presentations and demonstrations page. And for that, we actually have an 11-minute presentation / lecture by my colleague, Dr. C. Some of you may have taken a class by her. Anyway, she of course is the original designer of our course and has let me use some of her presentations as well. So my thanks to her. And after that presentation, we have a TED Talk on our readings page and then several additional readings that you get to choose from. So you'll want to take a look at my notes on Canvas about choosing the readings. There are certain readings you'll need to be choosing. And our goals here is really to learn more about liberal arts education. So I do encourage you to read more articles than are required if you're able to in our limited time. So then once you have completed the readings, we have a discussion activity for Wednesday where you'll write about the readings and what you've learned from them. And of course, take a look on Canvas for more detailed instructions about what you should be addressing in that. And you'll need to be referencing some of those articles by names and citing them directly. Of course, once you post, you should read over what your classmates have said. That can be very helpful for you reading their posts, not only learning about the readings that you did not choose, but also in better understanding the ones that you did choose and write about. So then, of course, after you've gotten your post up there, maybe you want to respond to a couple of classmates as well. So this announcement I see is already getting long enough, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. But I will share some more additional details of what comes next in tomorrow's announcement. Remember, though, of course, as you do continue with the class and work on everything, let me know if you have any questions or difficulties, and I'll be in touch again tomorrow.